This podcast introduces you to performance improvement and mindful performance improvement. I had an early morning guest speaking engagement at a professional development workshop. Hoping to energize myself before the seminar, I went to the gym at the hotel. While I was waiting for the equipment, I overheard several attendees discussing an upcoming presentation on performance improvement. From what I gathered, the attendees were suggesting that continuous improvement was the best approach. There was no mention of improvement goals. While I listened to the attendees' rather intense discussion, I watched people running on treadmills, some fast, some slow, some listening to music, and others reading books. And it occurred to me that we need to use a goal based approach when focusing on performance. For example, my goal was to perform well at a professional development session that morning. I started to wonder whether standing in line for the treadmill or running on the treadmill was the right thing to do before the presentation. I suddenly realized that we all need to be mindful when focusing on performance improvement. I define performance improvement as having a goal to do a better job than what others are doing, and then benefiting from the fruits of the improvement. If a person demonstrates improvement but does not benefit from it, the change in performance is internal. Businesses and individuals sometimes assume that internal performance improvement is the same as mindful performance improvement. This assumption stems from lack of understanding of the purpose of the performance improvement or clear goals for improving the performance. We must focus on goals before we focus on performance improvement. For example, if a person can run 1 mile in 10 minutes but wants to run 1 mile in 8 minutes, the goal is not obvious as it might seem. That is, does the person ultimately wants to compete in a 5K run or reach the top 10 list, or the person is interested in improving health or energy? If a person wants to compete in a 5K, the average time it takes for a 5K runner to complete 1 mile will be used to set the goals. If the top 10 runners take 7 minutes to run a mile, the increase in running speed from 10 minutes per mile to 8 minutes per mile will not help the runner achieving the goal, though it will signify improvement. This type of increase in performance is an example of internal performance improvement. As mentioned, this is not the same as mindful performance improvement. If the goals were to improve health, the person would use healthcare measures recommended by the doctor for attaining the mindful performance improvement. We need to focus on mindful performance improvement approach because in business we invest resources to improve performance, and if there are no benefits from the improvement is internal, and the firm will still lose value at the marketplace. For example, the firm might have improved the quality of service compared to last year and spend millions of dollars acquiring new technology and training workforce. This investment increased the cost of operation, reduced the profit margin because the company was not successful in generating growth or increasing revenues or sales. Company improved its performance from last year but was unsuccessful in the marketplace because they were still falling behind its competitors. It is an example of internal improvement, but it is not sufficient to generate additional revenues or profit. Managers should understand that the mindful performance improvement approach applies at all levels of functional areas of management, and it is not limited to operation management or human resources management. The success of mindful performance improvement depends on how well the management understands the consumer needs, competition, cost, and benefit of investing in performance improvement, and their ability to use the understanding in setting performance goals. To recap, I define mindful performance improvement as having a goal to do a better job than others and then benefiting from the fruits of this improvement. Thank you for listening to the podcast.